All right, boys, KG podcast here with Luke Wheat. What's up, Luke?
That's right. What's going on, Pat? You doing good?
Hey, give me a fire intro, bro. I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Yes, sir. Everybody, welcome to episode 7 of the KG podcast. Athletes shine a light on mental health. I'm a co-host, Luke, here with my buddy Pat, just chopping it up. We're gonna have a cool guest on this week, Brandon. We'll get him on here in a minute. But we wanted to thank Anissa for coming on last week and sharing her story.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think Anissa was fantastic. I know with her background, not only at the D1 level, but at the national level, especially towards the middle end of the episode, we started flowing as a group. She was absolutely fantastic and her network was fantastic. So, Nis, if you're listening this week, which I bet you are because you're a friend of the pod, thanks so much for what you do, girl. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. And look, we're not psychologists. We are not psychiatrists. We're just guys, a couple of athletes, ex-athletes trying to, just do what we can and break the stigma for mental health, right? That's what we're trying to do. So we aren't licensed or certified for anything. We're just a couple guys chopping it up, right, Pat?
Luke, that's how we do things. And we were 2 college athletes. We coached a little bit at the college level, very similar to Brandon, our guest today, over the JUCO level. So, yeah, just 2 guys bringing on fire guests to try to get you guys this knowledge and anything that we can help. And from the feedback on our social media, which is Instagram at the KG podcast, throw us a follow, throw us a guest, throw us a networking invite, throw us some questions. We're here to help you guys. And if we impact one person, hopefully we can impact more. So awesome stuff.
100%, man. 100%. Well,
Cool.
Let's keep it moving, dude. You want to go into the weekly self-help segment and what we did to kind of lift ourselves up this week?
Yeah, man. Another week, and I swear I say the same thing every week. Every week is a struggle. Every week is a grind. Every week can be uncomfortable at times, and that's okay. That keep going mindset has been huge for me. I think this week was tough, sending my girlfriend back to school.
Yeah, tough.
It was. But, she's off to do better things out there, finish up her degree and start multiple other degrees and certifications. And couldn't be more proud of her for that. But I was spending a lot of time with her out in her area. So trying to get a workout in. We got a 30-minute deck of death in. We got creative. So I think this week was about creativity, but still following up with non-negotiables like running those miles or getting that workout in or meditation, reading, all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's great, man. I kind of stayed with a super basic one this week. And also hate that you had to send the girl back to school, man. That time apart is always a difficult time. So as always, you've got me if you need me. Always shoot me a text. I got your back.
Love you, bro. I'm blessed to have you, bro. I'm
just
blessed
like
to
you've
have
had
you
mine 1,000 times. Just like you've had my back 1,000 times. But yeah, man, that's like we're proud of Ash and we love what she's doing. I just know it's not the easiest thing being long distance, as we both know. But what I did this week was just start planning ahead. Pat, you talked about getting in kind of a funk and how keep going helps you, right? Well, how many texts did you get from me this week at like 8 a.m. in the morning when I'm back in classes and I was like, school's whooping my butt.
No, and it's funny, Luke, and we say it every week, man. You don't know what you don't know. So I didn't know you were struggling until you reach out to me, and it's vice versa. Mm-hmm. We help each other. We've created this group and this accountability partners. We created a circle that it's cool to be vulnerable in 2023. Yeah. It's cool to check on a buddy. That's cool stuff. So I love you, bro. I appreciate you checking on me. And it's likewise, bro. It's mutual.
100%, man. Love you too. And just planning ahead, dude. That's what I think I'm going to try and be better at is start planning like weeks ahead for classes instead of, a couple days. And I think that's just going to let me settle into the routine a little bit more of being present in every class, right? If I'm not scrambling every day to get a set plan down, then I think it's just going to help me be more present and be there more for the kids.
Right. And I'm going to go back to a Rich Jurgen line, one of our first guests on here. Leave no doubt in your preparation, because they're going to sense that you're not prepared. And if you're not prepared, you're got that imposter syndrome now. And you don't have to have that. You've earned the right to talk to hundreds of kids and impact their day to day. So don't be floating around with that imposter syndrome stuff. Leave no doubt in your preparation and do you, man. And your kids are a blessing to have in your life. That's for sure.
Prepare to succeed or succeed to prepare to fail.
Oh, bro, you might as well just put that on a poster behind you, bro. I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Well, hey, let's bring this guy. Pat, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I got Coach Brandon Gossett in here today, and I'm super excited. So, Brandon, we ask our guests every week something that they did to help with their mental health. First off, it's great to see you, Brandon. What's going on, man?
No, what's going on, fellas? I appreciate you guys having me. This is quite a unique platform that you guys have built. Yeah, there's tons of platforms that talk about athletics and different things within athletics, but not too many, at least to my knowledge, that cover the mental health part of it, which is a huge aspect of it. And especially in these times, you see a lot of athletes coming out and speaking out about this stuff. So I think it's super important. It's super awesome that you guys are shedding light on this. And kind of building the platform where others can do the same. So I appreciate you having me on.
Answer your question. Love you, bro. Thanks for coming on, dude.
Yeah, we appreciate that compliment, dude. It means a lot.
Man.
Yeah.
I'm pumped, man. And I'm excited to meet you, Luke, and kind of talk to you a little bit, because I know anybody that knows Pat, anybody that's cool with Pat is cool with me, man, because he just radiates, good vibes. And anybody that can get down with Pat, man, certainly I can get down with as well. So
hey, that's a common trend, isn't it? That's a common trend people say about Pat.
Y'all are too sweet, bro. Y'all are too sweet to me.
That's a common phrase I hear. That's a common phrase I hear.
I was telling Goss in the prelude, I'm like, we're how many episodes in, right? 7. Yeah. And I've never called a guest sweet before. This man is sweet, and he's coming off the gate sweet. So I appreciate you. And Luke, it's awesome to have you meet Goss, not only from a friendship standpoint, from a networking standpoint. This man's been all over the place. So I'm really interested to hear, man, what did you do this week, man, with your busy schedule as a college basketball coach?
Yeah, so some of the stuff I try to do each week, and one of them I really got back to this week. I was kind of sick last week, so kind of was just adjusting my schedule and doing some different things. But
yeah,
absolutely. One I got back to now that I was feeling a little bit better was the cold showers every morning. And I mean, I love that stuff. I've been doing it for on and off for probably about 2 years now, but it's been something I've been trying to do more consistently as of probably last 4 or 5 months, almost, never missing a day. And it's starting to be one of those things where it's like, shower get any colder? Like you kind of get used to it. You know what I mean?
Bro, that's mental
feel
fortitude.
Really good about yourself.
That's mental fortitude right there.
Gosh, I got to stop you, bro. I got to stop you there. This is something that hasn't come up yet on a pod.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't.
And it's a really popular thing in our community, right? Guys that lift, guys that are on their feet, guys that are working hard. Our athletes, they're in the cold tub, they're in the hot tubs, all that. Why do you think it helps you the most? Just tell me, just walk us through like we're 5 years old right now.
Yeah.
No, I think for me, the biggest thing, and you can look up all the health benefits, how it helps your immune system, things like that. But for me personally, it really wakes me up. It makes me feel like I'm ready to start my day. It's one of those things that after I'm always happy I did it. At the time when I'm sitting in there and it's steamy and it feels good. Now it's time to turn the knob over to the cold side. I'm like, man, do I want to do it this morning? But every single time it leaves me feeling refreshed, leaves me feeling like I'm ready to go for the day. And now it's just kind of become one of those things that I really can't do without every morning. It's kind of that trigger, like, okay, here we go. This is the start of your day. So,
Luke, I'm going to say this right now. I've tried the cold shower stuff and I failed. I want to ask my roommate, Ned, that a lot of the listeners know. I tried this for a couple months and I was good. I'm not doing it right now. So starting tomorrow, you better believe I'm back on it, Goss. Say no more.
Let's go.
Say no more.
Hey, look, I'll hit a cold shower for you, Goss. I will. And
that's not even a doubt.
I'll do it. I'll do it one time, give it a shot. I don't know about it. That's the thing. I got to get more comfortable being uncomfortable, right? So I like to get in the shower and be cozy.
I'm with you, man. It's a tough thing to push through sometimes, but I feel like you'll definitely, once you're done, it's one of those things, man, when you want to go, some of the days where you're like, oh, I don't want to go work out, man. I don't want to do this, but you push through and you do it and you're like, dang, I'm glad I did that. That really
I'll give it a shot.
I'll give it a shot. Ways.
We're not even out of we're not even out of the first segment yet. And I'm already telling the listeners, run this back.
Run it back, dude.
Run this back. I'm fired up already. Gosh, that's great stuff. And I think to shout out one of our future guests, Heather Gage, tennis at Air Force. She'll be coming on in a couple weeks, but she'll probably be listening. She's awesome. But eating that frog early in the morning to get that first W, Hey, chalk me up a W and chalk up Goss with one early on. I love it, guys.
Let's go.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it.
I'll do a little soft intro for Goss too. I just wrote down two things. I said, Coach, and first off, I'm gonna ask you a question after I say this piece. Kansas City, Kansas Community College.
Yes,
and look, are the talks progressing well to get that name changed, or what's that like right now?
Like that is a long JUCO.
That is a mouthful right there.
Oh yeah, we call KCK, man. We just go by KCK.
Oh, we can go with KCK.
Yes,
we
sir.
can rock with KCK.
Yep.
Good,
okay,
man.
So, because we got to distinguish which side of the border we're on. You know what I mean? So we're on the Kansas side, so we got to let everybody know.
That's true. That's true.
Man,
and then I wrote down Bears fan. I'm sorry. That was the other one I wrote down. We got a Bears fan and a KCK coach.
There we go. I mean, I'm gonna ride with the Bears because that's the hometown team. You know what I mean? I'm not the biggest football guy. I pretty much bleed basketball, and sometimes, unfortunately for myself, that's it. I wish I had some other hobbies and some other interests, but if I got to watch some football, hopefully those boys can turn it around and Justin Fields can get some help around him, man.
Yeah.
Well, there's one thing I know for sure, and then we'll go into Goss's early life here. I know Lovey Smith is a friend of the pod, and I know he listens probably every week. So, Lovey, just to let you know, bro, we love you, man.
Yeah, it's not all hate. It's not all hate.
No, it's all good. But, Goss, hey, bro, so we always start off with the intro stuff. Luke does a great job, and it's always good to get introed by someone that met you 10 minutes ago. That's fantastic stuff. Tell me about little Goss. Tell me how you got a basketball in your hand, how you started playing this game, and how you started loving this game.
Yeah, man, I think, and really as far as back as I can remember, I've always had a ball in my hand. Like I was one of those kids, I would sleep with my basketball. I'm shoveling the driveway in the cold so I can go hoop, putting on gloves. I mean, I'm anything I can do at night. We had the glow in the dark ball, whatever we could do to get out there, man. And really it was my dad who kind of put the ball in my hand. He played some junior college basketball at Elgin. So I know you're familiar with Elgin. Yeah, at a young age, he just kind of instilled that in me, us watching games. Like I remember sitting down watching Bulls games with him when I was really young. And I don't know what it was about the game of basketball, but I just really, truly fell in love with it. And my love was a little bit different. I started watching and really falling in love when I saw some of the And One mixtape stuff. That was something I couldn't get enough of as a kid. I'm going outside, I'm in front of the mirror trying to practice and implement all these moves that these dudes are doing. And that kind of, I think, sparked in me the love because the creativity of the game. I always say like basketball is such an art form. It's a beautiful game because, throughout the different things that you can do in the game, you can really create a beautiful, flow to a game or do a beautiful move and people are looking at it. I mean, it's a masterpiece if you look at it from my eyes. And, it's one of those games that every single day I'm always falling more in love with. And now being on this side of it has really, really changed my perspective and opened my eyes. But, I've been playing the game for a long time, been around the game forever and just kind of grew up with it and it stuck with me. And I'm glad I've been really fortunate in my life to find something that I'm super passionate about, like basketball, and hopefully be able to change some lives and touch some people like, and do what the game has brought me, and bring that to other people as well.
No, Goss. I love it. Go ahead, Luke.
I love what you say about the creativity part, man. So that's what I love about soccer too. It's 5 guys in basketball, but it's 11 guys in soccer working together, coordination, but also creativity at the same time and seeing ideas match up and just hit that perfect pass or you hit that perfect shot and or you back your teammate up. Like same thing in basketball, right? Like that's the creativity part of it to me is crazy because you got to be it shows all the effort that you put into it, right? Is if everybody's on the same wavelength and being creative at the same time, that shows how much they mean to each other and how much they put in the time together.
No, fantastic.
No, man. And soccer is a lot like basketball in terms of you got guys cutting and moving and moving in unison and trying to reverse the ball different sides of the field or the court, to shift 100%. The defense and things like that. Like I had a roommate in college who was a big soccer guy. And
shout him out, bro.
Watch it. I got to shout out my guy Nate Green. My roommate from
Yes,
college,
yes.
huge soccer junkie. I'm talking waking up at 4 or 5 a.m. After a
Shout
night
out
out to
Nate.
watch his team play, and he was a true one, man. And he got me to watch him. I'm like, this is not. I like this. It's a beautiful game as well. It's very different. And I can't imagine the skill it takes to use your feet. I could never, man. But there's a lot of
Hey,
similarities.
No, I
if you had the
completely
ball,
agree.
if you had the ball at your feet when you're that young, let's just like you had the ball in your hands whenever you're that young. That's all it takes. That's all it
Yep.
takes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, here, Goss, obviously your dad played a huge role. You said probably the 90s Bulls and one stuff. And Luke, I'll tell you, and I'll tell our listeners, Goss is another humble guy. We don't have guests on here that talk about themselves. Goss had a clip, man. The kid could shoot, the kid could dribble, kid played well. Whenever you have other athletes from other sports commenting, Goss is the man, Goss did all this, you made an impact on your area. Shout out Bryce Skeldon. He's coming on in a couple weeks. Back on track
That's
here.
my dog.
Bryce is your boy. He's a baseball guy. Whenever baseball guys shout out basketball guys, they were dogs. So we love that. Tell me when you realized in high school or junior high, I'm going to play college ball at a high level. When did that hit you?
I think it was one of those things. I never really focused on it too much. Kind of the eye opener for me is, I played a lot of AAU stuff in the summer growing up, and we were actually on some really talented teams that went to nationals and would, finish top 20 and things like that. But, for me, I was somebody who was really a role player and didn't get whole lot of playing time in 7th and 8th grade. And kind of my opener, like I said, I went to high school and, I made the sophomore team as a freshman. So to me, being one of two guys and making it over some of my former teammates that I had played with all summer and played behind was like, okay, maybe, they see something different or my game is growing. And that's kind of when I opened my eyes. It's like, okay, I think I can do this and try to play in college. And, I had no knowledge of the college recruitment world and how those things worked. And, I was a Division III player, started off at Lakeland, which is now Lakeland University up in
Hey,
Sheboygan,
D3
Wisconsin.
boys on a pod
A
tonight.
NAC team, baby.
D3.
Yep. Yes, sir.
D3 for the love of the sport.
D3's got a lot of talent, man. D3's got a lot of
It
talent. And
does.
that's what
It
they
does.
say. It's the purest form because you don't get any scholarship. You're there simply because you love the game and you love the process of getting better. You love being on a team and, doing that whole thing. But I finished playing my career at Eureka College down near Peoria, Illinois. And we're another Division III down there. And but yeah, I think it was kind of making that sophomore team and kind of making that jump early on in high school that really opened my eyes. Like, yeah, I think I can play this, at the next level. And I was very fortunate enough to do so.
I'm actually going to ask you a question for Luke because I know Luke might not want to go here, but I'll go here.
Let me know.
We both had struggles, Luke, getting on the field at times.
Yeah, 100%.
Like you were a goalkeeper that had to split time. I was a guy that played some JV. Goss, you were a guy that you were a role guy and you even had to transfer at one point. Tell me how you got through all that and tell me what you did to, one, have success and still make it a great career at Eureka after you transferred.
Yeah, and I think, my biggest thing was just my maturity level wasn't there and my sense of self. It wasn't really who I was. I thought I was a little better than I was, going to a new school as a freshman. I mean, as a freshman at any level, it is really hard to play and not only play, but really hard to play, valuable minutes and actually, bring something to the table worthwhile. And so, I was playing behind, who became the all-time leading scorer and another guy who scored 1,000 points. I'm sitting back.
So not bad players.
And I'm thinking I'm going to, right.
Yeah,
exactly.
they can
But
shoot the rock.
here I am still. Exactly. Here I am still thinking that I should play, over some of these guys. And so, like I said, just a distorted sense of self is what kind of drove me to transfer. And
I've been there.
Yep.
Exactly. I think it's humbling, man. It humbled me to transfer and finally get playing time and us go, 5-25 and me have to look myself in the mirror and go, hey, okay, now you're playing, you win 5 games. Maybe we got some work to do, So I think that was, kind of my mindset of why I transferred. But I also think just because I was, we go there and we aren't as successful. I think the on-court experience is what helped me, further down the line. And I really enjoyed my experience at Eureka, and it was really, a testament to all my teammates and all my boys that I'm still very close with today. We got a group chat today. We all talk, probably at least once or twice a week. It's just one of those things like, and I know it's, not just Division III sports, but at every level, that family atmosphere and that camaraderie that you build, man, there is nothing like that, hitting the field or going into battle, as they say, with your boys. I mean, it truly is a, once in a lifetime kind of experience that, a lot of us take for granted.
Oh man, Goss, that was fantastic, man. I think
well put.
For our athletes and adults that are listening that maybe haven't got their shot yet at their job, right? They haven't got their promotion, or the athlete that they're sitting behind their best friend right now, and their best friend plays their position. Those are tough days. If you could go back again, what would you have done differently with that?
I think my biggest thing was just my approach to everything. I had a really, I was a lot different of a guy than I am now when I was in college. I wasn't always so humble. I wasn't always so patient. I got frustrated. Got frustrated easy, and I was very outspoken at times, and maybe I shouldn't have been. And so, I think if I could go back and do something differently, it would just, be to put in more work and to try to be more patient with the process, ask more questions, and not just, so to speak, question everything we're doing and not put my own thought into it. Well, why are we doing this? What would be a solution? I'm not too fond of this or that we're doing. What would be a fix, that maybe I could approach my coach with instead of, sitting there and trying to argue with him about some nonsense. So I really think that would be my approach. And I also, like I said, I didn't have the best attitude in terms of, I knew I was a Division III athlete. I knew I probably wasn't going to be a pro. So there was times when I was like, yeah, maybe I could get in work, but maybe I could just go chill with the boys and hang out. And there was always time to do that, man. Looking back, it's like you go put in that extra, 45 minutes, an hour and a half every day. How much more fun would you have had with your boys on the floor too, not just outside of the game and things like that. And so I think if I could go back, I would try to change my work ethic and my mindset towards everything. But, everything happens for a reason. I think all the stuff that I went through as a player, it really, really helped me, get to the point where I am now as a coach and have the level of understanding of our players, that I believe I do. So I can kind of put myself in their shoes and help them, with whatever it is they need.
Luke, he's preaching, man. How about that perspective from my boy right here?
Oh, I know. And I think what's super important is what you said about you would ask more questions, right? And not, to be contrarian or to be anything like that, but just to better yourself or to better the team, right? And that's one thing where as a coach, I so respect whenever a player comes up and actually has a genuine question. I'm like, why are we actually doing this? What's the process about right here? And it's like, it shows that they have the thought process, right? It shows that they're thinking about it and they care about the team. And yeah, man, but it's also, you got to be honest with yourself. Like we talked about 1,000 times, if you're going to ask somebody else to be good at something and work at something, you got to ask yourself to do that as well. So yeah, it leads to a lot of good answers whenever you want to listen.
That Last Dance quote, man, Michael Jordan, I never asked him to do something that I couldn't do myself, that I wouldn't do myself.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's powerful. I know that's super powerful. Goss, let's stay here. You're a D3 guy. We're D3 guys. Not only were you a D3 guy, but you transferred to a lesser D3 when you got there.
Oh, yeah.
There was a lot of adversity here. You had some situations where you weren't getting enough playing time. You had probably some stuff going on in your personal life. When did this change? Give me your keep going moment.
Yeah, and that's exactly what my keep going moment is. When I listened to the pod in the past and I heard that question, I was like, that's a great question. I tried to reflect a little bit and I went back and forth on a couple of things and kind of landed on, my playing experience. And mine's one that I try to use as a guide for some of my players, who maybe show similar things and have similar habits that I did when I was in college. And it was really, like I said, I had a rough attitude and I was somebody who always wanted to question authority and talk back at the wrong times to coach, and somebody who was very competitive and intense, but I didn't channel that always in the most positive way, whether it was in practice or in games. And, those consequences because of that. I was suspended a certain amount of games. And honestly, at the time, I'm sitting there and had a lot of hatred for my college coach, and I thought he was doing me wrong and thought he was cheating me and, all these different things. And you look back and it's like, wow, man, this guy put up with me for this amount of time and gave me countless chances to fix my attitude and do some things. And here I am bad mouthing him, right? When he's trying to do me a favor when a lot of guys would have, said, you're out of here a long time ago. And that's eventually what it led to, my senior year. We go into halftime of a game and I got a lot of things to say while coach isn't in the locker room. And of course he walks in behind me. He wasn't happy with what I was saying and kind of just, from there, get dressed, you're done. And it was one of those things I had gone through before with him. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not really done. It's I'll be back. And that wasn't the case. Had to meet with him after and was dismissed from the team my senior year, 3 games in, and that's your most important year. That's the last year you ever get to play organized basketball. And you're looking forward to having, 27 more games. And here you are, you're done. And I think, for me, it really, really opened my eyes and it took a while. I was really bitter for a while. I'd see him on campus and he would try to speak to me. I would walk right by him without even looking at him. But here I am in his gym messing around and playing still and doing things like that. And it took me probably up until about graduation. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And at the time I was interning in a detention center, a criminal justice detention center down in Bloomington, Illinois, and kind of going to jail every day. You kind of figure out what you want to do, and it's not that, even if you're working, you're on the right side of things. You don't want to show up there every day, and so kind of started thinking what I wanted to do with my life, and thought of how much joy basketball brought me, and how much the feeling of emptiness I had since I hadn't been able to play that season, but still sitting there watching my boys play, was something that I don't think ever left me. And so, kind of maturing throughout that experience. And I went back, talked to my college coach, apologized for everything. We ended on good terms, and I think we're still on good terms today. But it was one of those things that took me a really long time to go back and realize, like, hey, this man's helping me out. He could have let me go a long time ago. He could have dropped me out my sophomore year, and then what? I would have transferred again. Who knows what have happened? But he kept me around longer than he needed to. I mean, even at one point, they had me talk to a psychologist about my anger and things like that, and it was actually a really good experience. And it's something I still do today. Is go and talk to somebody about things that are going on in my life and anger and different things that I've dealt with in the past and still battle with. And so I think, without that experience, I definitely wouldn't be the person I am today. It really opened my eyes to this is how you treat people and this is how you deal with adverse situations. You don't get angry, but you got to figure out a way through it. And I think because of that, it was one of those things where it was figure it out now or you're going to live a really tough, miserable life, and so I did some different things to try to figure that out and handle myself, and was lucky enough to get a coaching job at Rock Valley where I met Pat. And from
RVC,
there,
baby.
I think yes, sir. Shout out to the Golden Eagles.
Shout out Rock.
Shout out Rock Nation.
Yes, sir. It really changed my approach to things, and I kind of saw things from the coaching side, and everything really started to make sense there of, why things were the way they were. And because of that, I think it's really helped me share that experience with my players and players that I have that, deal with different things where they get angry or they want to, talk back, whatever it is. I think I can really put myself in their shoes and be like, hey, I was you, man. I get it. I really get it.
I see where you're coming from.
Let me help you. Exactly. You don't want to end up and have the same experience I did. And I think that's a big reason why I try to do what I do as well, so that nobody, ends up like myself and missing out on experience that they could have had.
Is that one of the most rewarding parts for you as a coach, being able to help guys through those times?
100%. And I think it's really anything they go through. We try to tell our guys, like, hey, we're here for you on the floor, but we are here for you off the floor as well. We got guys that go through things. I got former players that are still hitting me up when they need something or, whatever it may be. And, one thing I really try to do consciously every day is, go up to the guys and just simply say, are you good?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's not so much trying to get a response out of them that says, no, coach, I'm not good. Here's what's going on, right? Because that rarely happens. but I can usually tell by their response because I ask them so often. I know when the response is positive, and I know when the response is, oh, there's something else going on, but I just don't want to talk about it right now, or, this isn't the place and time, whatever it may be. So I think by me asking those guys that, it kind of helps me see where their head's at for the day. And then, I can kind of adjust how I deal with them and coach them and teach them throughout the day, and try to be a little more patient with them and stuff like that. So that's one thing I try to do a lot. Just try to put myself in their shoes.
I love it, dude. Whenever you make it a habit like that, and it's a repertoire you have between your guys and you, like you said, they may not have to come out and say why they're upset that day, but you can tell just by the tone of their voice how you need to adjust and make them a better person that day. And that's awesome, man. That's absolutely incredible.
Goss,
appreciate
it. Oh man, that is I'm speechless, bro. Like, and that takes a lot for me on this pod. Like, my hairs on my arms are just straight up in the air. Like,
I appreciate it, man.
Goss, there's a quote I say every episode. I'll butcher it again while we're here.
Hey, bring it out.
Hey, I'll just butcher it. Don't worry. Inky Johnson, man. You always talk about how you see a person where they're currently at, and you praise that person, you love that person, you look up to that person, but you don't see them where they started. You don't see what they went through in the 3 a.m. gyms, in the 5 a.m. workouts, in the midnight study sessions, and therapy, which, man, if you guys don't know, our listeners, we are a pro therapy podcast. Therapy is cool. Therapy is awesome, especially if you need someone to talk to. I want to shout that out. But Goss, when I met you, man, I didn't know you went through any of this. And I remember sitting in my office at Rock Valley, getting to know my players in the wintertime. And I'd see Goss's players come in to his small ass little room next to me.
Oh yeah.
And chop it up with Goss. And I remember going, if I can create a relationship with kids like this guy, I'm going to be in this game for a long time. And look where we're at now. Goss, how many years you been coaching college basketball?
This is my 7th year, man, which is crazy. You've been there from the start, so
killing it.
Goss,
killing it.
Crazy.
What you do for the youth is something that I wish everyone could in your position. And it started from, when you made that adjustment. And I thank you for sharing that story. And for our listeners, it's never too late to get started.
That's right, man. It's never too late to make a change. 100%. 100%.
Always.
Goss, this is fantastic. I could talk to you probably for another hour with Luke. I know Luke could probably too.
Yeah.
But I know it is January. So I understand how busy this time of year is for you guys. This episode is going to get crazy love.
Yeah.
So where can these guys and girls find you?
Yeah. I'm a big Twitter guy. Twitter's big in the basketball world. So I'm on Twitter. I think it's Coach Gossett 13, I believe. So you can find me on there. Give me a follow. I follow a lot of different things, man. A lot of basketball stuff. Appreciate it. But a lot of mental health stuff and a lot of motivational stuff as well. That stuff's important. You gotta, you are what you surround yourself with, right? So the things that you hear, the things that you watch on TV, the music you listen to, like that can really shape you. So, you wake up and pop on a couple motivational videos, some things I do when I'm down, when I don't really feel motivated for the day. And even if I don't want to hear it, I just listen to it and it turns everything around for me and gets me ready to go. So, if you're going to use social media, I think you can use it in a really powerful way. You can use it to do what you guys are doing, which is inspire people, put people on a platform where they can share their story that hopefully has effects on other people. But you can use it, for yourself and for self-help and things like that. And, like Pat said, don't be afraid to go talk to somebody. I think one of the most powerful things that I saw, and you guys kind of touched on it last week, we talked about Donovan Mitchell scoring 71 points and holding up the sign. One of my favorite things is, after the fight when Patty, got up on stage after he won and he talked about his friend who had just passed away and he shed a light on mental health. I think, what you guys are doing and what guys like that are doing are are huge and massive, because there's a lot of people that don't know how to take the first step. And I think you guys give them a guide to do it. You guys are doing something that's really powerful. So I commend you too. And I know you guys are touching a lot of people and changing a lot of lives. So we appreciate it.
Goss, we love you, bro. And we're appreciated. And I said it last episode, anytime that me and Luke start looking at each other smiling, we know we made an impact today, man.
Hey, this is going to get a
Yeah.
lot of love, and you're going to help out a ton of people, guys, especially telling the story like you did with how you took that first step to make a change. And I'm super proud of you for doing that, and proud of what you've done for your life,
Thank you.
man.
Guys,
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It's good talking.
Yeah.
Always, man. Wrap us up tonight. If you're talking to an inspiring athlete, inspiring coach, someone working a 9 to 5, what'd you tell them?
That's a great question. There'd be a lot of things I'd like to tell them. I think the biggest thing I would tell them is just, trying to think of the exact quote, what it is, but it's
Butcher it,
it's
man. That's all we do
Hey,
is
we
butcher
put your
it.
quotes on here. We
Butcher
put
it.
your quotes on here.
It's I think it's you once prayed to be in the spot that you're in now, right? So there's a
Yes,
lot of times when
sir.
you look back and you're looking forward and you're like, man, I want to get this, I want to do that, because you have all these goals and aspirations, and that's awesome. Those are the things that drive you and push you. But you got to be where your feet are. You got to understand that I used to pray that I'd be in this situation, and now I'm here. I got to be happy being here. I got to be where my feet are, and just really, really, truly live in the moment, because you don't want to miss things, and you don't want to be somebody who looks back and thinks, man, I should have done that differently. Do it now and be where your feet are, and truly just live in the moment. Enjoy everything that comes your way, whether it's good, whether it's adversity. Face it head on, because you're going to get through it. They say you've been through 100% of your bad days, right? So
Yes,
you can
sir.
keep going and keep pushing forward.
Keep going, baby.
Guys, keep going, bro.
Yes,
And you got my word. The next time you and the boys cut down the nets, I'll be there. And I know Weedy will do the same.
Boom, boom, boom.
Sounds
boom.
good.
That'd be unreal. I'm ready for
Guys, we got some good
Let's go.
football. Let's pray that Baltimore gets through this game without going to their kicker. Like the old Madden when you're playing with your boys. So you go
Yes.
enjoy some football. Guys, God bless you, bro. Love you so much. You know that.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, guys.
Love you, fellas. Appreciate you having me. Yep. Thank
Always,
you, guys.
bro.
Later.
Peace.
Peace. Hey, I'm gonna hit this ad real
Later.
quick, Pat, for
Hit
us.
the ad, bro.
Power pipe hitting. You guys already know. Steve Petersen is gonna get you right. He's gonna say this power pipe hitting tool that's been getting swings right for 15 years, man. I mean, for 15 years, they've been getting the swing right. That like we've said 100 times on this pod, the Petersen family is somebody we trust and know. We'd never lead you in the wrong direction with them. So thanks to them for sponsoring the pod. And on a side note of the power pipe hitting, he's also got the video evaluations. Those are $100 a pop, and he's going to get you right. So we appreciate you, Scuba P.
Luke Wheat, first impression of Brandon Gossett.
Dude, I mean, stand up gentleman right there. Absolutely stand up gentleman and a leader of people.
I had to stand up. That's how fired up I got.
Yeah.
I had to stand up. You
Come
notice
on,
right
man.
now, I'm in the kitchen. I'm doing push-ups right now live.
Come
on.
on. Get it going.
I swear, I'm so excited, man. I think that's going to impact hopefully hundreds and thousands of people. So I know it will. I know it will.
It will. Hey, Coach Goss at 13 on Twitter. Go give him a follow. He's clearly somebody we need to be keeping an eye on every day.
Couldn't agree more.
Big things.
And speaking of ending the stigma and sharing some stories, shining that light on mental health. Sean McDermott with the Hamlin stuff this week. Luke, do you want to take the lead on that? Social media shout out of the week.
Yeah, social media shout out of the week. Sean McDermott with the Buffalo Bills. It basically came down from the league that they had, 5 minutes to get restarted after that crazy hit that DeMar Hamlin took. Right. It actually, I guess that's the weird part. It wasn't a crazy hit. It was kind of just a normal hit. And he stands up and goes back down into cardiac arrest. Right. And so NFL comes out and says, okay, we understand that was crazy. Y'all had 5-10 minutes, warm back up, get back on the field. And look, Sean McDermott put his foot down. He said, I don't need to be here right now. I need to be at the hospital. And that speaks that speaks volumes to what Sean McDermott's relationship is with his players and the stance he has on mental health, that he knew his guys were not ready to go.
Oh, absolutely. And I think from a mental health standpoint, you wonder why that's a 13-win team. You wonder why Stephon Diggs is in his car driving to the hospital in his pads basically to get there. It's a culture thing. It's a family thing. It's how it starts from the top all the way down. Couldn't be more important. So
100%.
Shout out to Sean McDermott. Shout out to Buffalo Bills. And
hey, shout out the Bills, because they provided a mental health professional to every player that needed one that week.
Incredible.
Yeah, just like Goss was talking about, where he started therapy near the end of his college career, or just right after. I can't remember the exact timeline he was talking about, but shout out anybody that's willing to take that step, and get their feelings out there and start processing them, right, and moving on to better things.
Luke, I couldn't agree more, man. Shout out to Bills, and shout out to Brother Bill, their promo guy, our guy. He's coming on the pod here in a couple of weeks after the NFL season. Shout out what Buffalo's doing from the top all the way down. And Brother Bill, you are at the top, my man. You are at the top.
Appreciate you, Brother Bill, friend of the pod.
Absolutely friend of the pod. Well, Luke, I'll wrap us up, man. I know we got some football coming on tonight.
Yeah.
I also know that we got things cooking next week. So we got Stony Brook softball coming on. We're going to have 4 of the girls on there
for that.
Absolutely. Over at Long Island. Hidden Opponents. If you're tuning in from Hidden Opponent, they're all members, campus captains, participants. They run events. I'm so excited to pick their brain, and shout out Hidden Opponent for everything they do.
Yeah.
Luke, I'm excited for that one. But anything before we wrap up today?
Man, that I think that's about it. I just got to say thank you to everybody for 1,000 followers.
Wow.
I mean,
yeah. Wow.
When did that had Thursday or Friday? I mean, we did not expect to be here right now.
No.
Like, we did not expect to be in this situation at the moment. In January, we started this in November, end of November, beginning of December, and it's grown exponentially because of the love that you guys are giving us. So we appreciate y'all.
Yeah, you guys are a blessing to us. We get this platform every week. We try to utilize it to the best of our abilities with help from stuff that it's not just us out here talking. Hopefully we have stuff speaking through us. And we love you guys, and cheers to the next 1,000, and cheers to getting episodes on. And Luke, keep going, man. I appreciate it.
Keep going.
Yes, sir. Take it easy, Luke.
Yes, sir. See ya.